You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello.
It's Niall.
How are you?
And it's me, Brian. I'm just going to move the window with only Niall's face because is Dwayne's video coming through? It is. That's good. Okay. It's just not
Our
coming
video.
through on my screen. Righty-ho. I've now lost the script because I minimized things to get people.
It is the week of September 7th to 13th. Wait, no. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, that's correct.
I can count.
Yeah. Looking for some.
And we start with One Piece, episode 1118, Holy Land in Tumult. Is that how you pronounce that?
You don't see that word like used
Tumultuous.
singular. Tumultuous.
No.
You as a
Yes.
as a descriptor, not as a an individual. Like it's.
I charged right in without really knowing how to say it because I'm not sure I've said it out loud before in my life.
The confidence of the English language in this man.
Cyan Leo's full power blow. I think you've got to approach the English language with full power. Yeah, so I guess we've got to skip this episode because there's no great animation and we know what happens.
There's a lot of like people looking very pensive because it's very pensive situations, but yeah.
Lots of the the shackled in the streets, so they'd be like, "No, Mass, please save us, don't leave us here." But yeah, I suppose it's all a big build up to somebody sitting down in a chair.
Yeah,
saying a word for the first time. Yes.
In their weird, like, I guess it's a kind of creepy, echoey voice where you're not quite sure which gender it might be, if any.
Yeah. I'm kind of hoping that
wax paper is for
that vague shape of the character isn't actually the shape of the character, and it is a classic Oda fucking rug pull where it's just like the character looks completely different than that. I haven't decided what they look like yet.
Yes.
It's probably not that, but yeah.
Yeah, in the credits, Imu is listed as 3 question marks.
I missed it.
I'm wondering if they had multiple people voicing the line.
Yes.
At the same time.
I mean, like they've got like a bunch of actors.
Even like it is revealed who it is. Okay, 2 of you are fired.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It'd be handy if there was some of the main cast who are not in the show right now. They're just like, can all of you guys just say this at the same time? And we're not going to fire any of you. Don't worry about it.
Masako Nozawa as Imu. It's me. I'm the king of the world.
It also says like there's a post-processing, so you can't identify the voice either.
Yeah.
The word they say is Lily, because the reason Cobra wanted to have a word with the 5 elders.
He's been reading the history. The thing that is super illegal most of the time you do it.
Well, he's reading the history you're allowed to know.
Yes, and he's asking the world government, hey, there's a little, not a void century gap, there's a little gap in my information here. All these kings, was it like 20 kings and queens, all like gave up their weapons, said, we made a throne, so there'll be no one king of the world, and all those people eventually became the dragons, the guys at the top of the world, that kind of fucking thing. All their descendants became 800 years ago.
Except Queen Lily of
my
Alabasta.
Fucking ancestor who left to go back home. She didn't fucking arrive home. What's up with that? World government, they're like, I don't fucking know.
So I've just found this a lot of accents on these days. It could happen to anybody.
Because he's descended from her younger brother rather than from her directly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she was Lily D. Nefertiti. And so he also wants to know, what's this D about, eh? What does the D mean? And that's the thing which prompts Imu to show their face and take the throne. And we get the 5 elders going, no,
sir, could you we have company. Could you not sit in your chair? Not that it's your chair. He sat in the chair.
I mean, you please do what you want. Of course, you're all knowing and all powerful, but I think you don't gotta do this. No.
And this is like the first point where the 5 elders are shown to be not the power and to be nervous about the guy who is the fucking power.
They've been shown like kneeling before the throne.
That's true. Yeah. But I mean, like I guess this is the reveal thing because the other plots going on are we got Sabo and Jewelry Bonnie have teamed up to free Kuma. Bonnie's going to just go straight to Egghead and ask the top scientist there how to turn her dad back to normal. And he's going to, all right, I'll free him. You get to that important bit as well. We'll work together on this. And the other part is, as I picked as an image behind me, 2 of our classic lads kicking a fucker's head in for trying to capture Shiraishi. So yeah, that's it. That's the entire episode.
Yeah.
Yep. Sai and Leo. Well, they appear to have killed a world noble, our most hated one.
Yeah.
Darlos.
I've seen dudes get it much worse in One Piece and come back from it.
Yeah,
like Pell is right there. He perished in like a quasi nuclear explosion, but then he was just fine. He was just go to the hot springs to recuperate. He was great.
He died in an explosion back when nobody dies in One Piece, but people are capable of dying now in One Piece. So I guess your man having his head kicked in isn't quite. He's not immune to the plot armor.
Fucking cleaning house in the comic as of late. So
yeah.
You expect maybe, you know.
Set this back on the table.
Majo's Ford stops the princes from saving their sister because he's like, look, you'll be in trouble if you attack a world noble. But these guys, they're
and
pirates.
then they can invade your country because you represent your country. These guys don't represent shit, so they can do whatever the fuck they want. Just let them fucking have this one. He's right. Yeah.
Now, I think Sai is also still in charge of his country's navy, but he's also a pirate.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
he's disavowed. They could do a sword on him. It's just like blah 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 blah. We are not. We cannot deal with this little bumblebee man. Whatever he does, he's free to do.
Yeah, we might get some more freaky animation next week when we see the 5 elders.
Yes.
True hideous form. Well, at least you have vague outline of it.
Yeah.
And I think probably some fun chases as well.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Kinnikuman, Perfect Origin Arc, episode 9. Did we get a title for this?
You couldn't learn the heart.
Okay. In which
again had it written in as episode 8 because the fucking Netflix fucking numbering is just confusing the fuck out of me.
In which Suguru eventually realizes, after initially not listening to me told him what to do, but he had to have a flashback before he could properly figure out what to do, which is to stop using strong moves on him.
To be fair, it is a flashback to the trauma of his training in Hawaii, which is kind of like a fun version of a flashback. Ah, yes, the important trauma I received. That will come in handy later.
If you're going to be like, be absolutely just driven in like a peg into the ground by a Kira, it may as well be in Hawaii, might as well be somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're going to collapse on your feet, it may have a nice view.
This is a beautiful beach to get the shit kicked out of you several days a week. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a flashback to him training with Prince Kamehame, aka Kinnikuman Great. Now, as you say, voiced by Akira Kamiya. This is the 4th voice this character's had.
Well, you did start him off as an old guy.
Not bad for a dead guy, actually.
Yeah.
It's going to feel like, influence on, that's a wrestling legacy for, he's got the 48 killer moves,
But as he was drilling into Kinnikuman back in the day, it's like, I'm going to teach you the fucking killer moves, but you got to learn the fundamentals. That's very important.
What kind of fundamentals?
Yeah, because as he's fighting...
Peekaboo.
How old is Peekaboo at this stage? I'm not entirely...
18 hours.
Yeah.
So, as I've just reset, I think. Yeah. It's like, if you're thinking, yes, I take the strongest moves of all the wrestlers until I against them, and Strong the Budo is getting his head punched in. Oh, very good, Peekaboo. You've probably become your biggest form now, strongest you've ever been, like that. Strong the Budo. You're not going to reset me this time. Oh, yes, I am, Peekaboo. I'm going to turn you back into a baby again. No, I won't be a baby. Not this time.
I want to stay a man.
Not going back.
I don't want to be but it's like, but your strength is that you are a baby that grows over the course of a match. So you need to be reset to baby before every match.
I copied the Universal Champion and I've gotten all his best moves now and I'm beating him. So that should be enough. Oh, no. I think you're cuter as a baby. We're gonna be a baby again.
But because, like I said, Kinnikuman notices this is like, wait a minute, he doesn't know how to block like a low kick. Like, I'm not gonna do anything fancy. He's just like, he does, like, instead of doing one of his 48 killer moves, he does like a Boston Crab or something. A pretty simple wrestling move or something.
He picks him. Initial thing is he picks him up and he's like, I want to put him in this move and I want to put him in that move, but instead I'm just gonna body slam you. And then he's surprised and like, oh.
The body slam works.
Body slamming it.
You couldn't counter my body slam, but you could counter my ultimate move. Oh, okay.
This is why you gotta learn how to do combos in fighting games, because you can't just spam Hadouken all over and over again. We're gonna figure it out.
Sometimes you need to know the interaction between light punch and medium punch. Yeah.
This felt like, this is something to be implemented in future Kinnikuman video games. This fight, where it's going to force you to not use your strongest moves.
I thought they could use like a meter, Got to build up the match tension, that kind of thing.
I assume there has been additional Kinnikuman games since the chapters originally came out, because this would be like 2011, 2012. So
yeah, probably right. He's definitely appeared in at least some kind of Smash Bros type thing, at least, right?
Oh, it must have been one of those the Shonen Jump All Stars 1-on-1.
All Star Fighters or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Well, I suppose they'll see the numbers on this one, how it does. Might get another one. The time is ripe.
Yeah, it looks like maybe mobile games since this was launched. That's what they brought out.
They're popular.
They are social card RPG, social card battle game, social figure battle RPG, social card wrestling, social card battle game, action RPG. Card battle RPG.
I just wanted to bring back the little plastic men, because like it has I think at the ending thing it has like a guy with a bucket full of them. He's just shaking it. And I was like, that's the game.
I looked on HL. Don't think that was the very first thing I looked on Hobby Link Japan.
Yeah.
And I think annoyingly there was some out a couple of years ago, but I hadn't seen any yet for this. But you'd think there would be.
It's gotta be, right?
Yeah, we've got some fixed pose models coming out by the looks of things. We've got those crayfish in Kinnikuman colors. Those hello. No, there are some no, they're bloody keychains though.
No.
There was not too long ago some nice quality action figures of Kinnikuman Robin Mask.
Yeah. But yeah,
and Wars Man, another one too.
Yeah, but I'm like I'm sorry, like Dwayne. I want the King Keshis. I don't want them with a ball chain through the top of the reds.
I mean, I like having that as an option, but that's like a B to my main thing of just a little guy, just a little plastic man. Is it too swallowable? Is that the problem with them now? I'm not entirely sure.
It's like you can get a pack of 10 as keychains here for £22.31.
Well, with just
a tiny saw.
No, a small investment in a set of bolt cutters, and world can be your oyster.
Yeah. So, what's the move he finishes him with? Because Meat points out you guys still use a strong move to finish him.
Furin Kazan, because it's like the old Japanese strategy idiom, or so it's like combine all your strength. You gotta be as solid as a mountain. As mysterious as the woods. You gotta be gotta flow like the water. You gotta burn like the fire. That's Furin Kazan. So he's combining a simple arm bar into this, and you get the tombstone pile driver.
It's four simple, well-known moves combined into one kind of thing. It's a combo. He's doing a combo basically. So yeah.
Yeah, they have a talk and he explains, I was able to beat you because I remembered the words of a dead friend. And that's what us Justice Chojin are all about. We don't reject the dead like you perfect Chojin. We don't.
You think it's just like, now that you lose, you forfeit your life. It's like, no. People who passed actually inform us and make us stronger. That's how I beat you, because
You're just a baby, you've got a lot to learn.
And I look forward to fighting you next time. It's like, next time. It's like, yeah, we can fight again. That's the fun fucking part. We can learn and grow and be better. And Budo is like, whoa, I'm wrestling this mountain. I'm wrestling this mountain right now, and I'm actually doing shit. So it's like, don't you fucking dare, baby. If you do that, you're not a perfect Chojin. Perfect Chojin kill themselves immediately upon losing.
Yes. And at which point he puts Strong the Bruno puts his fist through the mountain's face. So yes, this is our cliffhanger. Will the baby commit suicide? The other detail is that Kinnikuman tells him Peekaboo to seek out Neptune Man because he's like, that's a perfect Chojin who's my friend, and he can tell
I
me
learned a lot from him as
how
well.
to become stronger.
And I guess the other stuff that's happening is Buffalo Man kind of going like, oh man, I really want to root for Kinnikuman, but I can't because my friend Springman is here and he's going to think I'm...
Springman is so cynical for being the most immediate looking of the two. He's the real like fun saying, all this fucking friendship is all bullshit. The Buffalo Man, the huge spiky totally guys going, I don't know, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yes, the thing is, now I've seen weirdos get turned back into normal humans. I'm like, what was Springman like before he became like this? According to the wiki, he comes from Greece. He's also 4,000 years old.
Like, is he from the invention of
he
springs?
is literally an ancient, like, cynical philosopher. Born in a modern era. That's a spring.
He is a classical cynic. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so our cliffhanger is, will a baby commit suicide? Then we got MAYONAKA Punch, episode 10, Rampage, Fateful Showdown.
It's Rampage X Fateful Showdown, which suggests that two things are fighting.
It's either in this callus, it's either cross or it's silent. I just say X is just there just to indicate it.
Yeah. Or indicate a versus.
But no one said it out loud, so we don't know.
Yes, or it could be Rampage multiplied by Fateful Showdown.
Could be.
Equals fun.
We open with the reveal that Yuki is a Twitch streamer. She streams retro video games.
Of course, she would get most riled by what she hates so much herself.
As soon as I saw her going through the door of her apartment, because it's kind of like she's there in front of the mother. She's like, yes, like, yes, master, I will get this done, and that kind of thing. And she's got into her apartment. I was like, oh, wait. I was just like, oh, okay. And then she's like, hi, guys, it's me. I'm back again. It's like I put on the put on voice for putting on a show, putting on the character that she has, which is a variation on the name that she wants to have, not the name that everyone fucking calls her.
And then she gets a YouTube alert on her phone that there's a new MAYONAKA Punch video announcing a new member of the cast. At which point she abandons what she's doing and goes around their house to try and convince them to convince her to join the team.
If you really want me to join the team, lads, like,
once she comes in the phone saying, join a new member, it's going to be one person, it's going to be Masaki, right? So you can't allow humans in this fun vampire group, it's going to blow up the whole thing. Well, that's kind of what we're going to do. If said, well, if you don't want us like to do, I remember, like, fun, we can just do a fun. Said, no, hang on. She comes in like ready for business to fuck him up, like, but it's like, no, it's like, no, actually, no, well, I didn't say that. Come on, no, let's just be hasty here.
Ichiko posted this video and they pulled it down because Ichiko wanted Masaki to join, and so the rest of them have no idea what Yuki's talking about.
Yeah, it's the initial confusion of it's just like we're going like, hey, little kid, you shouldn't have put up that video. We had to take it down, but now the fucking forums are talking and shit. It's just like we're gonna have to do stuff about this. It's like, I'm not gonna fucking appear in front of the camera, and then this one appears like, so you finally fucking came begging to me.
It's like, first of all, she's like, you finally discovered my secret that I am. The famous video game streamer.
Retro game streamer playing knockoff Castlevania, and they're like, nope, no, I never heard of that. So, but why did you say you were gonna add me to the thing? It's like, we didn't say that. We were gonna add her. It's like, but he's just like, and it's just an incredible embarrassment for her. She's cringing pretty hard. Yeah.
I mean, I guess she has gamer brain. She goes through her tragic backstory, and it's all like visual novel RPG looking stuff.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Which is kind of nice because like the character designs of that are like the fucking Saber marionette dude, but it can't be but it can temper a bit of animation. Then you see like it's full bore like guy's art in like the visual novel bits. It's like yeah, he's just going all out here. But it's just that it's just like I guess Eve was just like just kind of annoying to her, and just kind of just did her own thing while she had to kind of be the kind of prim and proper one, and it just felt slighted by that, and they're kind of going, "But that's it."
Like I think it's mostly they're the two vampires that are the closest to the head vampire of the mother.
Yeah.
So they've the thickest vampire blood. And at one stage, the mother rewarded them with these cool collars, and your one's like, "I want the one with the bead," and it's like, "Oh, what the fuck? I wanted that one." And so we were eternal enemies. It's like,
yeah,
that's it. There's nothing more to it. It's like, yep, that's it. That's my tragic backstory. That's why we've been fighting for hundreds of years.
Yes, the idea that this is a stupid tragic backstory will be mirrored in the second half of the episode when it becomes clear that Masaki's own tragic backstory is just as stupid and is built up in her own head in the same way it's built up.
It's not a big deal. Yeah.
Which is is quite, and also it's like, oh yeah, clearly Yuki is also in love with Live to a degree, particularly from the details of the video game that she spells out when it becomes the dating game.
Yeah. Because she keeps hovering between the, it's like, hey, do you want to go out option? It's just like, no, not this time. I need to work towards
play it cool.
Yeah. So they're going to do so Masaki ends up going into taking some video of burgers because they're going to do an eating challenge.
They're getting some place does like really nice big burgers, so she's just going to get some footage from it, like footage of the stand, footage of the burger in the thing, and they'll get takeout and they'll do an eating challenge. Do the mukbang. She seems to be the mukbang one.
But while doing so, runs into her former YouTube guys to hyped up sisters. It's just like, oh shit, this is pretty awkward. I haven't seen you in a while.
It's awkward up to the point where they just like kind of naturally start chatting, and it's like, holy shit, you're fucking Mayo Pan, fucking those guys are great. You guys are doing you're doing crazy numbers.
And it's also clearly more awkward with the one she punched than the one she didn't punch.
Yeah. Well, I know. One is kind of maintaining a distance and maintaining like social nicety, whereas the other one's like just slipping into the natural friendship that they've had for fucking years. Yeah,
and they go out for pints and just hash the whole thing out, pretty much.
And it's kind of like the thing is like, hey, we were going to ask you for a collab, but now I feel really fucking awkward about it. It's like, hey, do you mind if we post this video of us drinking together like on the channel? And she's like, I don't fucking know if I'm comfortable with that yet, but it's kind of like the idea of like, yeah, you were on camera the whole time and you were fine with it. It's like, that's the thing I was afraid I couldn't do no more. Okay, I've learned a little something, and I've had a little character growth. That's nice.
Yes. And they address like a plot issue here as well, where they discuss that, MAYONAKA Punch have got twice as many subscribers as we've got, but we're hiring all these outside people to help us produce the videos.
Like come up with ideas of things to do. Like they pretty much do their own editing and stuff. Yes. But they even get other people to write it often. So yeah.
Yeah, but then she reinforces that would have been the story before we got the story of having to get this done in a certain amount of time to save the house, because that's there. That eliminates why we're not doing the things a channel would do if we had 700,000 subscribers.
And it also kind of tells you like they had to hire this many other people to keep their hype sisters thing going. It's like, so she was doing all that work basically is the kind of implied thing, I think, especially since she's running MAYONAKA.
Well, she's a very good producer, which is why producer. What's the fucking requisitioner of people and things.
Yeah, and there's an early discussion about comments on videos and how Takage is getting the same sort of hate that Misaki was getting, but of course it just is water off a duck's back to
Look
Chicago.
at these losers. It's like, what's their fucking deal? Is she an addict? It's like, what a fucking joke. Who gives a shit? I don't give a fuck.
I guess when you're an immortal fiend who's been hated by the populace and run out of town multiple times, I imagine she kind of just like shrugged this off after a couple of centuries. You know,
he had a thick skin about being run out of the last couple of villages with pitchforks and torches. You know, it's just like, that's just people, man. They're gonna be like that.
Because then they do a video introducing the two new members of the team, Yuki and Misaki, and then the cliffhanger is, oh my goodness, there's chaos in the comments.
But there is like the pre thing of the eating contest becoming whoever if you finish first, I have to join, and I'll join, I'll do it. But if I finish first, I don't have to join. And then it's just them both eating burgers as slowly as possible. And it was just like, fucking hell, that is very funny. It's like, my hand is crammed. I can't reach the burger to my face. And everyone's like just cutting up tiny slivers of burger with a fork and knife.
I wasn't raised in a barn, no, thank you.
It's good. That's good shit.
Yeah. It's such a good
terrible content, but yeah.
Top to bottom. It's so good. Because I was like, because my tolerance for the sort of social cringe-inducing comedy that's at the start of this has gone down over the years. I used to be the thing I loved at the start of the 21st century, and my tolerance has gone down. But this worked really well because of the obliviousness of Yuki at the start of it, and it didn't draw it out for too long.
Yeah. There's a way of doing that kind of like kind of cringe-inducing stuff that works, and this is obviously a good example of it.
It's a kind of strange way where it's just like, I've got this kind of perception of who she is, and she's got a perception of who she is, but also inside and outside of it. She has her offline and online personas now, but you're still all in one person, so
yeah,
it's just like really snatching away all this. Like, you probably think you're some real tough enforcer, but like when it comes down to it, you've never really been a threat to us.
Yeah. Also, we get the hints that like Livei's attraction, the hints to Misaki, because we know from the dream that it is lust, not just that she has incredibly delicious blood.
It could be, one day she tries to cheer her up from crying in her bedroom, essentially the other vampire, and it's like, hey, you want a piece of this blood? And it's like, no. It's like, I thought I had delicious blood. It's like, not really. It's just like, maybe there's something else she's after.
Sorts, huh?
Okay.
Yes, I think she may have finally cottoned on 10 episodes in. Great episode. I assume there's like a couple more. How many? 12 episodes, yeah.
It was at least two, but they got to do the 24-hour stream next.
Yes.
Race to the finish.
Then we've got Chibi Godzilla Season 2, Episode 23, Counting Godzillas. I think this is the funniest episode they've done yet.
I mean, it's a difficult fucking hold a roll, but yeah, it's pretty good.
It's also not a Manzai episode. It's
a clip art episode. We have the clip art of all these fucking monsters that we used prior as sprites, but now we can use as Godzilla trying to put himself to sleep by counting Godzillas as one would a sheep.
Yes. And then, first of all, it's a maths problem because Godzillas
if
keep
3
on
Godzillas
back.
jump over it, 2 return, 5 go back. It's like, hold on, fucking, yeah, okay.
Then loads of monsters who aren't Godzillas start jumping over the fence and they just get into a fight. Then the Godzillas jump over the fence and combine into, well, just a stack of Godzillas. Then they're putting Godzilla in. Then it's a recipe for Godzilla soup.
Yum.
All the ingredients hopping over. Yeah.
Also, occasionally a narrator will bump in, and Chibi Godzilla demands to know who on earth this is. He keeps on interrupting in his thoughts. Then there's a Godzilla doing a traffic volume survey on Godzillas jumping over a fence.
There's one with the clicker, yeah.
Then it becomes a rhythm game.
Where you have to say the name of the monster jumping over as it's jumping over, and it's like, good, you rapping good, that kind of.
Yeah.
Just
And then the
good
final punchline is we come back to class and Chibi Godzilla is telling Chibi Godzilla, strange dream, eh? And it was like, okay, the entire thing, he was dreaming that he was trying to fall asleep. And all that nonsense was happening.
It's very okay, but I've had those like layered, just kind of those layered dreams where you wake up into
Yes.
one. Like I come out of the gym, then I wake up, and it's just like, oh, I do my usual morning routine of getting up and brushing my teeth.
I fucking hate those so fucking much. Because I was like, I got so much done, and then your eyes open. It's like, oh, fucking goddamn.
Yeah. It's usually like fun saying, "Oh, I'm late. I better finish my coffee." I don't drink coffee.
Just a detail going off on it. Yeah.
Then we got My Dear Friend Nokotan, episode 11, The Pursuer and the Pursued. It's a 3-segment episode again. The first segment is that Nokotan has fallen asleep in class, and the teacher's about to ask her a question.
I'm about to ask this person's number in the class, and it's like, oh shit, that's Nokotan. I gotta wake her up. And it's increasing. Is like, how is nobody reacting to all the weird shit that's happening? Or she hasn't figured out the plot of this fucking thing. You're the only person who can see how weird the fucking Nokotan is, seemingly.
Yes, and then Nokotan wakes up just in time to deflect the question by asking, "Have you forgotten to cut the tag out?" Or something like that.
And so everyone's checking their clothes to see. It's like, oh shit, they're all embarrassed. That's a good one. I'm gonna have to remember that one as a distraction.
And then run away while they're looking. The second one is the title story, where a hunter arrives at school to hunt Nokotan, kill her, and serve her up as a feast at a festival.
And we learn it's Deer Month, I think, is it the thing?
Yeah. It's Deer
season.
Festival.
It's Deer Month, not in this fucking town, like in Hokkaido or something. I think it is.
It's Day of the Deer, and the punchline. One of the punchlines. There's multiple punchlines. One of the punchlines is it turns out there's a Day of the Deer every month, and this guy will be back every 4th Thursday.
Yeah.
Or he would be if there wasn't for the final punchline, which is he gets arrested for carrying a rifle around town.
No, he gets arrested for carrying a rifle around town outside of the bag because he left the bag behind. It's if you have a gun or a sword outside of a container. Only. Yeah, it's weird, but I mean, like, it's clearly like a sword in a bag, not like a
Yeah. He's dressed up like a traditional hunter, and chases Nokotan around the school with various Hollywood movie references.
I like the simple thing of him kind of busting into the classroom and kind of like touching the seat and sniffing, still warm, that kind of shit. It's like, this is inappropriate, sir. You need to leave. I'm calling the police.
Something not been waiting for us. Ain't no girl.
The security system he set up in the school at night, where Nokotan's eyes are like glowing in the infrared and shit. Yes. I was just like, that's good looking shit. Yeah.
He goes on he reads out most of the "This is my rifle" speech from Full Metal Jacket.
That's good shit. Yeah.
I assume it's a Fate reference when they're fighting on the roof and the sky turns red. I don't know enough about Fate to know for sure.
It's a motif they use, sure.
Yeah.
It's also because she turns her antlers into a bow. That was the other thing which made me feel like.
I thought she turned him into a double-sided lightsaber, because the lasers come out at either end, and it's from the antlers, which is, as is pointed out, what a useless weapon. Yeah.
You could be right. I was reading it as like some sort of laser bow.
I mean, like, it doesn't get used.
I'll have a look and see, because this kind of shit, but obviously, you can see this obviously appeals to me, so
yeah.
I may be able to fill in some of those blanks for you.
It's a pretty, like, the middle is definitely the best bit, but I also it is undercut by just how silly the entire thing is in a good way, obviously.
Yeah, but that made me that took him this long to have one where, like, what do people do with deers? Hunt them?
Yeah. They were going to do it.
The final segment feels like, I know we cut out a lot of the text, so you may not have picked up the subtext, but just to make sure you're clear, these are lesbians. That's pretty much the final segment.
Do remember, lesbians. Okay,
yeah.
Great.
These two girls are in love with each other.
Yeah. That's fine.
Yes, because essentially it is. Why is she wearing the tracksuit? The school clothes are dirty or something.
They're being repaired, but she's wearing like a tracksuit full of fucking holes in the elbows and knees and all kinds of jazz. And autumn is coming, so she's fucking freezing. And it's like, oh, I'll help prepare your uniform. Okay, you know.
Yes. So they go out. They can't find anywhere, so she has to repair it herself by putting the patches on herself. And yes, it's just like absolutely clear this is the relationship between these two girls. Is that they are definitely in love with each other. Before we do our serious episode as the final one next week.
A very special episode, my dear friend.
Yes, because the preview, I guess, is just the lead into the next episode where she goes to the Deer Club and she's like, well, we see her in class. She's like looking at the seat and Nokotan's not there. She gets to the Deer Club.
Nokotan not being there, she could be like fucking shooting Apache helicopters. We don't fucking know. It's just some weird shit probably happening. Goes to the Deer Club. It's just like, hey guys, have you seen Nokotan? She wasn't in class today. It's like, who's Nokotan? Bum bum bum.
There's nobody called Nokotan going to this school. Yeah, so that's our cliffhanger, and we are promised a serious episode next week by the narrator. I'm not sure
how
much that promise
won't be. It'll be for the last episode of like Mr. Osamatsu first on the phone saying, we're going to resolve that in the first 30 seconds, and we're going to fucking do something stupid for the remainder of the show.
That would be ideal. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it did feel a bit like that it was setting itself up for doing the thing we like, where it's just doing a victory lap for its final episode. Because this felt like that final segment felt like okay, that could have been the end of the series.
Yeah.
Like
it was being very nice. There was very little jokes, especially in comparison to that middle fucking segment, which is just crammed full of them.
Yeah. Then we got Sengoku Youko, episode 22, Senya and Jinun. Dad's back.
Well, I asked the mountain gods, geez, going to demand a hefty price for this because she wants him locked up. And she did some fun saying, could you please let my dad off his field, pretty please? I promise, he won't do anyone for saying, you dare ask this of me? For saying, if it's not too much trouble, please.
When I specifically, especially when she kind of goes like, the last time you were here, I tried to kill you, but you got away from me. And you come asking a favor from me? It's like, yes. It's like, yeah, sure.
Right. Yeah, sure.
Oh,
just one more thing. Just one
do me
more
a favor, though. And it's like, I could take care of this, but I'm just like, if you could just take care of this little problem for me. There's this weirdo going around. If you could just like hanging around the mountain.
It's a rat
Katawara. Yes, a rat Katawara. Can you take care of him? And then we get a lengthy Disneyland parody.
It's especially Disney because like
they are barely hiding the Small World After All song.
Small World After All fucking bit, right? The
going on a boat in the fucking river and I go,
yeah. But what's I keep forgetting the egg guy's name. He shows up again.
I know. Tamagoku. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. The guy shows up again, but he's more cartoony than usual, and his hat, which resembles some kind of Mickey Mouse type head, becomes a hat that they use at this festival they're having. And there's a lot of Spirited Away looking motherfuckers at this festival. Isn't that fucking weird? It's just like almost like we got a Disney license all of a sudden. It's good shit, man.
Just opened. Maybe they're there.
Yeah. There was suspicions. They're like, oh, clearly the mountain god wants to observe something we're going to do to take care of this Katawara. We've also seen that the guy who's possessing the other god's body takes Yuso's woman out for more training to learn this forbidden technique. How does he describe it? It's like reverse the hierarchy of power is this technique he's going to teach.
You're weak, so you're gonna reverse that shit on them, so that'll work out. Yeah.
We don't get to see what this technique is or the training.
I hope it's just like a nut shot or something, just something really fucking basic. It's just like it fucking works though.
Well, what they're dealing with is you got Senya who's got 1,000 demons inside him, and they're running across like Jinka, who was like 1,000 times stronger than any one yokai. That's what I'm saying. you can't measure that like with training or anything like that. But
no.
There's one thing. There's one little like principle might be able to turn it around for you.
Yes.
Some kind of spiritual aikido, I suppose.
Yeah, I've seen later character design, so I think I've got a clue as to what it's going to be. But
okay.
Yeah, so they take care of the rat. I don't know what she could have observed because it's all very chaotic the way they take care of the rat.
I think it's like, let me get a feel for how you guys work as a team. Might be the thing she's going for, because
she was saying like, it's been 8 years, so let me show you what you've learned in that time.
And as the mountain god points out, I don't even know that girl there. Like, she's brand fucking new, because we see the crow girl has gotten bigger.
Yes. Because that's why I thought she wanted to see what Sakiko could do, which she doesn't really do anything. I was like, surely the mountain god has cottoned on that there's another spirit wandering around in her punching bag.
It's entirely possible she's doing it because it's funny, which is a thing that she does seem to do.
It's more or less Tama who sort of sorts the whole thing out. She seems to be like, at least the most resistant to this ensorcelment that's been put on them.
She, like, the other mountain god immediately collapses, and she's like, oh fuck, there's a stink of, probably a curse or something like that, and there goes, I don't smell anything. Then they both collapse. She's like, okay, I'm gonna sneak in, ninja in. I can't use my nose to fucking catch this rat. I'll use my ears. And then there's some fucking Katawara who are musical instruments. She's like, shut the fuck up, you fucking. And then she gets distracted by Calcifer, enough into breathing in the hallucinogens, and then kind of go on spare. But she does hunt down the rat as a fox might do.
And she does also run into like the earth god, but it's who's being possessed by a foe, and saying, are there two of you out there? But no, it's just pretty old me around. It's just like, yeah, that's still you. That's
weird. Also because the blonde guy comes to her, but usually it's big. His body's being moved around.
That's what I mean.
Boss.
I did like that the kids figure it out in the "It's a Small World After All" ride, where they're both, where she kind of turns to them as like, yeah, we should probably, like, this has been fun, this has been really nice, let's wrap it up now and turn back into the adult or teenage versions of ourselves. And he's like, yeah, we had a good time though. Like, I like the fact that they kind of like resign themselves to this awful fighting kind of thing, but it's nice that they get to go to a theme park type situation as children before all this thing goes to shit.
Yeah, there's a couple funny scenes with the pair of them where they're sort of flirting but not knowing they're flirting with each other.
I think my favorite one is where it's just like, oh, you can't come to the thing. It's like, I don't want you to get hurt. You're too precious to me to get hurt. And everyone's just like, whoa, this guy's fucking smooth. But, and you see, the audience kind of see her go out and talk to the old fucking guy again. It's kind of like, that's the worst thing you could have said to her, because she does want to help you. Just every time they're like, no, you're to be protected. You're too weak. And she's like, motherfucker, that's the thing I'm working against. It's a smooth thing to say to your lady friend, but not in this situation. That is the opposite of what you wanted to say.
Yeah, but then she talks to him to tell him to explain to his dad his feelings.
Yes,
and then everyone similarly gets a shocked look to her. It's like, okay, yep.
Because gets his dad out of mountain prison, and is like, all right, all you got to do is convince him to not be a Dangatsu.
You gotta leave it to Dengai's. Gotta leave the fucking the ghost killing monk stuff.
So he kind of pops out. He sees that his son is much older. He's like, how long has it been? 8 years. He's like, So you're not in the monk thing anymore. He's like, nope, I left of my own free will. He's like, all right, that's fine. You're entitled to that. You're your own guy. I'm sticking around. I'm gonna kill every fucking monster person I see. And he's like, come on.
I kind of told some people that you wouldn't do that. I said no. Let me talk to me. He's a solid dude. I'm sure I can get through to him. So I'm really putting my ass in line for you. You get me? Don't embarrass me in front of all my friends.
Having the friends there and kind of going like, this isn't going well. Having the mountain goddess go, maybe I should just kill that fucker. I mean, like, I could have killed him at any time the last 8 years. So it's like, I'm just going to see how this shit plays out. She's just a shit stirrer. It seems the entire fucking
Yeah,
time.
it was just like, it operates on a logic that we mortals were not going to understand. It's just like, it's and again, I saw like that, like undead girl murder farce did that. We're like, oh, these are our heroes. We're solving the murder mystery, but they're also like, they have a different morality to you and I. So, like, they'll be our friends, but they'll look out for themselves and each other and their own ends.
Like, sometimes you understand the morality, like the other mountain god being stepped on by the lady mountain god, where our hero is kind of like, why the fuck is he smiling as she's stepping on his head? And it's like, because he's into it. It's his kink. But anyway, that's probably why he was so easy to dominate as a castle. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Sengoku tells Senya to tell his dad his feelings.
Yeah.
And he's like, you trained me all that time. I wanted to play, not train. And it's like,
I got a game for you, pops.
Well, before he's like, he says, "Is this justice you always go about? Is that really your true self?" And then pulls out the pipe and calls him by his real name. And it's like, "Where did you get that pipe? How do you know that name?" It's like,
to catch me to
play
find
a game.
Yeah, if you can take the pipe off me, I'll tell you where I got the fucking pipe.
See?
But if I manage to knock you on your fucking ass, then you gotta fucking leave the monks.
Yeah. So the fact that he starts fighting with the pipe in his mouth like he's Popeye, I was like,
yeah.
How do you?
Yeah, it's good shit. Just to kind of like, and keeping the emotional stakes serious while also very silly. It's a really fine line, and it does it so well.
Yeah, the Disney stuff, because the slow dawning, I was like, that's a bit like Mickey Mouse's ears. And then once it got to the small one, after all, I was like,
it's obvious as fucking that.
And I forgot this, like, this vermin has cast a spell upon you.
Yeah, that damn rat.
And I was like, how are they going to get? I mean, I hope they avoid trouble with the small one.
I think they stuck in enough Kid Icarus shit to fucking get away. It's like, no, it was a Kid Icarus parody. Look, we had the fucking cloth that they were riding around on. It was a rat man causing the entire problem. It's just like, what are you talking about?
I forgot to point to their lawyers, but
yes. I was thinking more
of Disney and those guys fight each other, basically. Yeah, leave it to them.
I was thinking more of the music being the problem. I assume they've just put like in the 2 notes you have to put in to make sure it's not quite exactly the same tune. Because it was awfully close. I mean, there was no lyrics, so they've got that deniability. But you could not mistake that song that the monsters are humming for anything else.
That only humming, as you know, is no actual versus being sung there.
Yeah.
Then finally, it's Dungeon People, episode 10, The Wind Slicer's Daughter, in which the first half is an attempt to find out about your dad, but the dad they're describing doesn't sound like my dad.
Yeah, the initial thing of her kind of going like, hey, sometimes I woke up like late at night because I can't sleep and you're up. And sometimes I wake up early in the morning and you're up. And sometimes I go to bed late and you're up. When the fuck do you sleep? It's like, oh no, I'm always at work. It's just like, so you don't take days off? It's like, no, I don't take days off. It's just like, but like, what do you do? Like, and she's like, what could she do in her spare time? No, she doesn't do training. She doesn't maintain her weapons. And it's like, you also don't have a fucking time off. You also do work shit when you're off. Maintenance and training are part of your work. You don't have hobbies, and you're going like, why doesn't she have hobbies? Like sharpening her blades and
fun stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so Clay's given time. It's not time off, it's work, but you're not doing any work, but you're still getting paid because dealing with humans is so stressful.
That should be in every fucking job. If you have to deal with humans in your job, you should get extra paid time off. I think that it's very important. That this is a great fucking workplace. I mean, like, this is a great workplace up until the fucking end bit, which calls so many fucking questions into it. But yeah, that's a different,
So she goes down exact with the monsters, who are all being more standoffish this time, and we get a brief flashback where essentially they were told if anything happens to Clay, Belle's going to come down on them like a ton of bricks.
Yeah,
so they're treating her like she's made of glass.
And the Minotaur doesn't mind though, and he's like, yeah, they were kind of nervous around you now. He's like, I'm listening out for that one monster that I heard say, it's like, oh, you're the Wind Slicer's daughter. I was like, where's that fucking? It's that fucking cat. It's that little cat over there talking to a tree stump.
Yes. And the cat is very annoying, but clearly good friends with this tree stump. So they have to go off into a side corridor to have a chat, and they wave goodbye to the tree stump. And she gets a description, and it's like this description doesn't. It's like the reason he's called the Wind Slicer because he throws a knife at you before it hits you before you have a chance to react.
I didn't even hear the wind, honestly. I just got taken out by the knife immediately. So yeah.
But all her memories of her dad are of him punching people.
And he says, yeah, sure, sometimes I'll pull a weapon out, but like I got this hobby where I like punching motherfuckers. It's like, I'm pretty sure he's just a monk. I'm pretty sure she was trained as a thief how to be a monk, but unknown to herself. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then she starts pondering, I need to get a magic weapon myself. And also there's like she wants to have a proper job and she can't have a proper job because most of the jobs require magic, so you can develop that. Essentially Belle really, the main reason is Belle just wants to hang out with her and doesn't want to send her off to a part of a dungeon where she's not going to get to hang out with her all day.
Yeah, because obviously our dwarf guy hangs out with her sometimes, but not much. He's got a lot of shit to do in just organizing all the golems and whatnot. And her purpose is to befriend. So yes.
Yeah. And then the second half is essentially the ecology of goblins used to be a racist metaphor. So therefore the previous owner of the dungeon changed the ecology of goblins. So they're not a racist metaphor anymore.
Good. That's better. Thank you. Thank you very much. I like goblins, and I don't like when you stick in sexual assault as a species. Like that's not cool. That sucks, actually.
Yes, or indeed, write a whole book series with which a whole TV series is made out of.
That felt very much like what it was like.
Oh yeah. Listen, I'm never gonna fucking watch that show because fuck it, that's bullshit. Get fucked. Oh, but Dwayne, the rest of the show isn't like that. I was like, I don't care. That's how it fucking opens. You can fuck off.
Yes. So Clay's worried about going to the Goblin Village because she knows that
I know what goblins do.
Yes.
Kidnap other
I've
species,
read the books. I know what goes on in there.
Impregnate them, and it's like, oh, these are their goblin fields. Ah, where they grow their goblin crops. What the fuck are you talking about? Goblins don't grow crops. Oh, no, these are goblins. We're growing goblins here, and it's just like, we're at harvest time. One gets plucked up, and those little horns. One of them was a little shoot, and the golem, because they're all golem farmers, just pick that off, and there you go. Baby goblin, and it's just like in a fetal position. It's like, they'll grow up in a bit. We're just taking them off over here, and they're all being dragged away like prisoners with their hands and tied together. It's like they're like prisoners. Like, no. If we let them stick around here, they start eating the other fucking baby goblins. It's no good. They'll be grand in a minute. Like, just give them a little bit of training first. Because the other goblins live in a village. They're fine.
The orcs in 40k when they reproduce via spores.
Yes, that's the other fucking thing. Which I love that in 40k. That's so like mushroom orcs. It's good.
Yeah. It's not funny haha, but it is funny clever. In like what it's acknowledging happens in other stories, and the fact that it's not Belle who changed this, because Belle's annoyed that she hasn't got the magic to further.
She's not as good. She wants to improve on the methods. It's like, because the way she's talking about it, and it's like, again, this seems like an excellent place to work. Your work-life balance is fantastic. You get paid days off. Wonderful. But she's talking like, it's like, yeah, it's not really efficient to capture female adventurers and impregnate them. So we developed this fucking farm version. It's like, wait, so you were fine with that other version if it was okay? What the fuck?
Well, it doesn't make dollars. Doesn't make sense.
It was the old master was the one who refined it.
She wants to improve upon it further, but it's kind of like, this is no good. And also the idea that the goblins don't use the gems. The goblins are just like, we just make a shitload of goblins. We send them out, and a bunch of them get fucking murdered. And it's like, we got another crop of goblins coming in. It's grand.
Yes.
And even Clay's like, that's fucked though.
It's the circle of life, because essentially
goblins get reabsorbed into the dungeon, and that gets into the tree spirit, and the tree spirit is in the center of the farm, and it's just like, it's grand. Goblins make goblins. Again, like 40k orcs.
Goblins having
when
goblins.
they infect the worlds that they are in and make more orcs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, but it's better than what it was before. There's also a clue in like the first half that Bell may have been created rather than born.
The Bell isn't fucking human by any stretch. Yeah.
Yes,
does not sleep. Only has existed in the dungeon. Only knows this as life. It's just like,
Yeah, when Clay asks her about when she was young, she then changes. She's like, "Oh yes, in my early years." It's like
I worked in the dungeon. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, not when I was actually younger, just my early existence.
Maybe she's a Terminator.
Or she's another sort of goblin. Not goblin, golem.
Yeah, golem or some kind of construct kind of thing. And
A homunculus, you might call.
The whole episode, as Clay going is like, why is she doing the whole dungeon thing? What is the end goal here? And the end goal is probably maintain the dungeon. That is your basic programming. Also, you probably could do with a friend, but that's not in the programming. Everyone could do with a friend. That'd be nice. I do like it doing the classical D&D thing. It was like, here's the lore on goblins. And then going like, fuck that. Let's make that much fucking more interesting by making them vegetables. I think that's better.
Yeah. The 13th Age role-playing game has orcs sprout out of the earth as well, fully formed as adulthood, to avoid the old D&D problem of like rolling up an orc village where all of a sudden there's loads of children you know need to kill as well.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons they I think in D&D regular they've actually gotten rid of half orcs as a base species. It's just like it's just regular orcs now. Don't fucking ask about half orcs. Don't ask what that's about, because it's like the fact that was a player character before orcs is kind of like bad implications. Just bad. Yeah. Rewrite the world when it has that fucked up shit in it. And like you say, Brian, like fuck racist metaphors. Like don't do that.
Yeah, I like that. I like the idea that it was the old master was not happy with how things were, and it's like
so he homebrewed better goblins.
Yes, exactly. That was it, except of course it looks like Niall watched some Terminator from the back of his
just a little bit,
yeah. Oh, dun 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 dun.
Okay. Dun. No, Dan was last Friday, you boons. Actually,
oh yeah,
you can go about that if you want.
That's true.
But, yeah. Of the 8 that came out in one big sweep, I've watched now 4 of them, and okay. I don't know. I am intrigued by it. It's definitely a sense that this feels like an all kind of a usual Terminator thing. Terminator sent back in time to kill some dudes because it's going to affect the machine more in the future, and then if Freedom fires resistance 5% back in time as well to try and save him and stop it happening. So we got Eiko being your Kyle Reese here, this try save the scientist, save his kids, stop the Terminator from killing people. But these things just feel a little bit off about it. It's like things just feel like, well, yeah, I get this on Terminator stuff, but something feels like a little different here. So what the scientist man is doing is like, well, he's not trying to we'll say talk to Skynet. He's made his own sort of supercomputer, artificial intelligence thing. He's trying to convince it, before he lets it go online, of is humanity worth saving? Because if you go online and you meet up with Skynet, you might agree that we all need to be destroyed. So he's just trying to negotiate and trying to put in they ask him you seem to know about a lot of these things about about a Terminator and Judgment Day and Skynet. It's like where are you getting this? Where are you getting all these things from? I know they're going to happen upon saying, I can't tell you that right now. So it says to be he appears to have dreams, or at least nightmares, according to his kids. So is he receiving this from the future in his dreams? Is he someone who's come back from the future earlier on and has done all this to try and avert this cause? Because I've gotten to halfway through it, and it's just whenever I do, it always seems to arrive at this point when Judgment Day happens. But one thing I haven't done is I haven't convinced you supercomputer I've made, but maybe I should let you go along, as that's one that hasn't been tried yet. Because I've watched the first 4, it's halfway through, when Judgment Day happens. So I'm interested to see, what's it going to kind of do then after that? It's it's raising the stakes now. It's about to kind of tip its hand, and probably maybe just something pretty interesting in the back half of it. Also, I was spot on the money about the nanny holding a secret being a Terminator. Like, it's it's so obvious and apparent. It's just like, okay, she's gotta be, right? She's gotta be. And you even doubt yourself for a while. Maybe she's not. Maybe she's not. But then it's just like, no, she is. She is.
Okay.
But like, it's in and about all that. Then you get some nice kind of Terminator action, and I think this is like a good splash of color for a Terminator thing. It's good. It's we've had a lot of very grey Terminator films in the last couple of decades and stuff. This is like, there's other kind of color patterns here. There's lots of red with the visual displays and the blood getting sprayed all over the walls, dismemberment and so forth. But this is like a neat little thing where this usually there's a lot of kind of dark season tunnels right here. It puts this like kind of like red highlighter or something like that on the shadows of them. It's kind of like it being backlit by a red light. I guess there's a little bit of color in there, like, so it just, even though it's people getting dismembered and so forth like that, it's a bit of a kind of, that's some pop like that. It's also like it broaches it gets right in there with the unique problem you have. Okay, you're in Japan now. There's not many guns around. Like, it's just the cops have that revolver that's like, tied onto their waistband, but that's about it. So both like the Terminator and also the freedom fighters come back from the future have had to improvise in their own ways. She just basically makes Molotov cocktails. The Terminator just like goes into like, fucking a garage of machines and fashions like a little crossbow for himself.
Cool. Okay.
It's like, oh, okay, that's pretty neat. It also has bits in there with like the Terminator isn't just like a killing machine; it's also like an infiltration and kind of like pursuing machine. So it knows that I'll just like go into the apartment of the scientist and like scan the photos and things like that. Doesn't kick the door in. Actually, it picks the lock and so it doesn't leave like any signs of damage. It's like, oh, okay, that does this fucking great thing too. We're in alternate 1997, where I think anyway, but the robots seem a bit more advanced. We have like the humanoid robot helpers and like a very advanced like Aibo style robot cat that the kids are chasing around and it gets out the window, the guy chase it down. Terminator sees that the box that the robot cat came in and knows the cat's probably with them. So this cat goes to the window and then opens his mouth and does dial-up modem noises. Just goes
in order
and
to
just like through all this, it just kind of goes over the phone lines and hacks into the robot cat so you can figure out where they are.
That's cool, man. I hope it sticks to landing because it sounds like the problem with this is like, why make a fucking Terminator thing? Any other Terminator thing, we've already fucking done Terminator well and poorly several times. It's like, but it seems to have a lot of original ideas that it's doing stuff with.
Yeah, like I'm getting a similar feel to it as fucking what was the Godzilla one we watched, the Studio Orange did? You know, the one with the ones that did Jet Jaguar as as a little garage.
Godzilla Singular Point.
Zero Point.
Yeah,
also a zero. Yeah. It's just like, these are all familiar things you'd know from watching Godzilla or kaiju films, but it was again like it was putting this extra little kind of zest into it. And again, like, with that one, I'd never been more kind of like troubled or kind of like, a little bit frightened of mathematics, but they found a way.
Yeah.
So I want to see what it does now, like, because these things I feel off about it, and I think there's like something a bit more complex and interesting at play here. So I hope so anyway. But that's the impression I get at this juncture.
And I saw the first 3 episodes of Dan in the cinema with a little documentary thing at the start, which kind of assumes you've read the comic and so therefore won't mind various plot points of the next 3 episodes you're about to watch.
I mean, like, I feel like if you're going as far as watching Dan in cinema, you're probably an old hand at it, right? Most people would be.
Well, people wouldn't expect to get like extensive interviews up front. That's not you always get.
And also, some people, if you look at the Letterboxd reviews, didn't know it was 3 episodes of a TV series and wasn't going to be a complete movie.
Never mind. I'm sure. Okay.
Because that's kind of a problem when it definitely does not have an ending. Because
the rest of the story.
It covers about 86% of the first volume across those 3. I say about because I did the maths. Which is about the pacing I like of a shonen manga adaptation or any manga adaptation. It's about 3 chapters a episode. Of course, the is that it's only actually 4 chapters it's adapting, because those first 3 chapters
are extra long. Yeah. But it's of that page count, basically. So, yeah.
Yes, it's of that page count. But it does end with them just about to end the arc. And then you got
to okay.
Oh shit! Doesn't even like isn't like no like. I thought they could probably get that opening arc in like in 3 episodes. I thought that's would be the natural little like jump off point for it.
I've forgotten there's the Flatwoods monster fight in the middle of it, and so that slows everything down.
With the giant crab?
No, the sumo wrestler monster who attacks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're not actually putting anything out.
You can't really bypass that, can you? No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that's your big action sequence. Well, no, 2 big action sequences. That and the stuff at the abandoned hospital, which is, I think, is the bit people will have trouble with, judging from the Letterboxd reviews, because people are having trouble with that bit.
It was a section in black and white, wasn't it?
It's the bit where she's the Serpos are going to impregnate her, and extract her banana. Yes, that's the bit people I think were going. Hang on a second, this is what.
See, I get the thing. When we watch the show and talk about it, I get the thing they're going for with your alien probing and that kind of stuff, but they're doing it in a comedic way. But still, people are just like to that kind of stuff, which is understandable. Yeah.
But yes, it doesn't really do it in that way. Like
that's what I mean. Like it
goes.
Then no. It's just these guys, really.
There are people's clothes do explode off their bodies. No, that still happens.
It's like all the time.
I guess there's less that sense of like of sexual threat because she manifests her psychic powers, and then it's not really a problem anymore in that regard.
It's definitely like the point where it's most threatening. That yeah. After that, people's clothes exploding off is more so for funny. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, it's very well made. It's a good adaptation as far as I can tell. The OP is, I think, a little misleading. Is that it's like, here's GG. I was like, I don't think he's going to show up to like the last 2 episodes, and we're not going to get all that much of him. Based on the post. And the speed is moving. I think it will cover like 4 and a bit volumes of the comic based on the pacing, which will be fine. I think based on the pacing, also based on the poster, which shows you all the monsters they're going to fight. So it does literally tell you how far they're going up in the comic.
I was thinking what you were saying, like it does like the 85% of the first volume. Like if they did 4 episodes as a film, would that have worked better satisfyingly based off of how they adapted it?
Yeah, possibly. But I think there's going to be like the end of, I think episode 4 is going to be end of the arc and then start of the next arc. So
yeah, I mean that's a good way to do it as well. Sure.
Yeah, it's just a little weird. It's like the ending is all Turbo Granny in her cat form, and that does not happen at all in these first 3 episodes. But
right.
But yeah, it looks great, and the documentary stuff was interesting because it was pointing out various things about the performances, the comic, and how the director works. That was the most interesting thing about the director, because he's like, when I'm watching films, if I see a shot I like, I put it down in this book, and then when I come back to make something, I've got this big book of shots, and I can see whether this would work in this particular thing. Because he's talking, like how the comic can do jump scares by a turn of a page, and he does not have the ability to do that. Really, he doesn't want to do that in the animation, so he's revealed certain things in different ways to how the comic does it. He explains that, and then because he's explained, when you see you've got that in mind, even with the shots he shows you a shot of something else which isn't this, and then as you're watching the 3 episodes, you go, "There's that shot he mentioned in the documentary bit."
That's great. Yeah.
And there's stuff about the performances, because I was like, I'm not sure some of the characterization that the actors are bringing out necessarily comes through in the translation all that well. And so it's like the wild swings of Okuran's character. I was like, I'm not sure that ever comes across in the translation as well as it comes across in the performance here.
Right.
About how he goes from meek to bombastic on the flip of a switch.
I mean, like maybe I'm again, because it's the difference of like reading the comic and the thing. Like I thought it came across in the visuals in the comic where it's like he's really into the thing and he wants to talk to you about it, and it's just like, yeah, okay, and he's very formal and nice until you talk about his very specialized interest, and then yeah.
I'm not necessarily getting that in the words in the speech bubbles in the same way.
Yeah. It's the characterization, like it's the drawing of the kid is basically what I'm saying. Is what I get that from. So yeah.
And they find a good way of doing that in the performance. It feels like elevated in certain ways, but there's certain things the comic is always going to do better than TV.
You're going to lose something in translation for sure.
Like in speech bubbles, I know that they'll be able to do it. I love in the speech bubbles they got like if it's like you can't see who's talking, you got the little Muppet faces in the corner of it. That very spread. I love those little faces; they're so cute.
yeah.
Because obviously you won't be able to do that so much in a TV show.
Yeah. Is it on multiple? It's definitely on Crunchyroll. It's on Netflix as well.
Netflix as well, yeah.
Yeah. So no,
I guess Netflix have that Science Saru like working relationship from before.
Sure.
Yes, and there was a trailer for Detective Conan movie. I was excited to see, and I looked it up. I was like, it's only played in London. I was like, God damn it! I'll watch it on Blu-ray or something else instead. But yeah, I was like, I was not expecting a Detective Conan trailer among the trailers.
Especially because they got that other thing coming out soon, isn't it?
The IPA.
Yeah.
This is City Asia distributing the Conan.
Okay.
But lots of places in London, but nowhere outside London. So
even Scotland's in London now. So.
It is, yes. I was reminded a little of like London Airport, Oxford. I was like, we've got our local airport.
That's fucking Ryanair job here, fucking.
Yeah.
Fucking Brussels, Charleroi. Charleroi a whole other fucking like county that where Brussels is in. That's where we flew into. Jesus Christ.
That's it. That was plenty. I did Boba because that showed up on Crunchyroll, but that's old news, not new news.
I'm halfway through Eureka 7. This is as far as I've ever got. It's like there's actual big fucking changes happening. Jesus, that show fucking like really holds its cards for a while. Like you can fucking like, oh god, they're gonna fucking like see what's like. We know something going on here, but
yeah,
I guess it's putting you in the young protagonist's like point of view, but he's not being told anything. And then he's to pick it up himself. But it's like, Jesus, I held on to that for a long time. But now it's a real busting on through and something bigger finally.
Okay.
Right, I'm going to hit the stop button right about and now.
Bye.
See ya.